I think we're all very excited. I'm excited. WrestleMania 40 is shaping up to be one of the largest WrestleManias ever. In fact, it's already confirmed to be extra large. WrestleMania XL. Get it? Okay, last time I'm making a joke like that, I promise. It's just a few days away. So without any further ado, these are my WrestleMania 40 predictions, part 1. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast from Silo Voice Studios in Montreal. I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course, ring the bell for notifications to be notified of my other WrestleMania predictions videos. Now, this is part 1, not night 1. My original plan was to do a night 1 prediction video with everything except for the big tag match with Seth and Cody versus Roman and Rock, and then do a night 2 prediction video with everything except for the World Heavyweight Championship match and the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match, and then do a third video with those three because they're all interconnected, all part of the same story, really inseparable. I still am going to do the third video, but it's the 31st of March, Sunday afternoon when I'm recording this, and WWE has not yet released what matches are on what night, except for those 3 matches. So I'm just going to have to wing it. Let's get started. Brother versus brother, main event Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Now, if there ever was a time for WWE to do something unlikely in the modern era, namely have a WrestleMania match end in a double disqualification, it would be this match. Because I definitely think there's going to be more matches between these two, and I definitely don't think we're going to come to any kind of resolution in this match. That said, they're not going to do that for this match. There is going to be a clear winner, and even though I'm rooting for Jey, I do predict Jimmy. Why? Because Jey definitely needs some singles victories, but his main event singles push definitely doesn't seem to be hindered because of a lack of them. His only real success was as a co-tag team champion with Cody Rhodes, as he was a singles star. Now, Rikishi might get involved in this match. Rikishi, of course, is the father of both Jimmy and Jey Uso. Now, that could possibly change that outcome if Rikishi stops interference from his other son, Solo Sikoa. But Solo Sikoa definitely is going to interfere, and I think Jimmy is going to win through cheating, through bloodline interference. I don't think Jey is going to end up joining up with Jimmy and joining back up with the bloodline, as some people have suspected. Yes, he didn't run in to help Cody Rhodes without a real explanation as to how he was down on Monday Night Raw. But still, Jey is too popular as a single star, as a babyface. He's going to stay a babyface. I think Jimmy's going to win through cheating, and they're going to have maybe a no DQ match or some sort of stipulation match at Backlash, and Jey is going to get back the win. Maybe they'll do a 2 out of 3 series, and Jey is going to win 2 out of the 3. But for this match, I'm rooting for Jey, but I picked Jimmy. It wasn't the easiest match to pick. The next one is quite an easy match to pick. Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. Some are also calling this the Storm versus Damage Control, because some think that the Storm is the name of the trio faction of Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca. I think the Storm might just be something attributed to Jade Cargill, but I'm not sure. Regardless, this is not a match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Originally, I'd hoped there would have been a tag title match for the women's titles at WrestleMania, because there wasn't last year. But you know what? This does work out better. It's pretty easy to predict because I'm absolutely sure that Bianca, Naomi, and Jade are going to win. And I'm also sure that it's going to end with Jade pinning Dakota Kai. That way you keep the tag team champions strong, or at least not having taken a pin. It sets up a potential future tag match because of the ultimate victory of this team. And it also showcases Jade Cargill. Now, her first official main roster appearance was in the Royal Rumble, but that's a Royal Rumble. Her first actual match that she's signed for, not a surprise for, is this match, and it's at WrestleMania. That's quite a debut, and they're not going to wreck that by having her lose. Also, logically, she could probably beat up most of the members of the Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai, if not all of them, although Asuka is quite tough. I don't think Asuka's taken the loss. I don't think Kairi Sane is. I'm pretty sure the 1-2-3 is going to Jade Cargill over Dakota Kai. And that could set up for numerous things after WrestleMania, and it's a great debut for Jade Cargill. I would be really surprised if something different happened. Now, moving along to the first championship match on this list. United States champion Logan Paul defending in a triple threat match against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. First off, I would love to see Kevin Owens win the US title, only so Sami Zayn could win the Intercontinental title and they could meet backstage and clink belts or something like that. I'd also love to see Randy Orton kick the crap out of Logan Paul. I think we all would like to see that. I'd also like to see the two of them working together, even though they're fighting each other. But sadly, I think Logan Paul's retaining. Why? Because Randy Orton doesn't really need the United States Championship. Neither does Kevin Owens. If it was LA Knight versus Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul in a one-on-one match, I'd definitely go with LA Knight because I think he does need a mid-card title. I think Logan Paul retaining gives some excellent heat to him, especially if he ends up causing a bit of a rift between KO and Randy Orton. I think KO is going to take the pin because I think they're really trying to avoid having Randy Orton take a pin. That's why they had a fatal four-way match for the Undisputed Championship against Roman. They knew Roman was winning, but they didn't want Orton to take the pin. I think Kevin Owens is taking the pin, and I think Logan Paul is retaining, obviously, through cheating and a lot of outside interference. Now, speaking of LA Knight, the next match on my list is LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Now, this is not the match people wanted for LA Knight. They wanted him in the championship match for the US title, for example, or maybe the Intercontinental title. And a lot of people, myself included, think that maybe they pushed him a little too far to go from fighting The Miz to fighting Roman Reigns. But still, here we are. They've done a good job over the past few weeks of giving some heat to this feud. It is one of the few singles matches with no title attached on the WrestleMania card. The whole LA Knight showing up at AJ's house, the whole LA Knight pretending to be a security guard. That's all fun stuff. That's all good stuff. This is going to be a very intense match. This is probably going to be an excellent match. But for the reasons I mentioned before, the megastar, LA Knight, he is going to win. And I think that's going to be the end to this feud. I don't know what AJ is going to do next, but LA Knight might get in the program with Logan Paul next. Who knows? It's going to be a hard-fought victory. Maybe they'll put this in a Hell in a Cell. They haven't announced that yet. Maybe they'll give it some sort of stipulation, like a street fight. I think Hell in a Cell would be fun because it's a way to make sure that both of the guys are going to stay in the match. And LA Knight's going over. My prediction. And now, the final match of part one, which I think might be the second to last match on night one. The Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley, defending against challenger Becky Lynch. Mommy versus the man. Becky's trying to prove something by winning this title, and it's going to be a great match. That was the build-up, at least until a few weeks ago, but now they've actually added some emotional context to it. They've showed some visceral hatred between the two of them. Becky saying that Rhea has no right to bring her daughter into this, as Rhea did in the last promo, attack Dominic Mysterio. Clearly, they're reestablishing Rhea Ripley as the heel, despite the fact that she's loved by a lot of people, namely by having Dominic there. And Becky is clearly the babyface. Becky's the underdog, even though she's been a champion for several times. She's the one with more experience. Although I am torn on this one, and I think it's going to be a great match either way, and I think it can go either way. I'm predicting Rhea Ripley retains. And she's probably going to have a whole other year as champion, and maybe she'll lose it at the next WrestleMania. Becky Lynch is definitely still going to be a huge star. I was informed in a comment on one of my other videos that she's actually the most well-paid women wrestler in WWE. I know she's in contract negotiations right now, but her contract's definitely going to be renewed. She might get a championship back. She might get another championship. She'll still be a main eventer, but I really think that Rhea Ripley is going to retain this time because we definitely showed her amazing ability against Charlotte Flair last year. She's had a few solid title defenses, but no real defense where I thought that she was actually going to lose. this is a match where she has the chance of losing, where I think she could lose. And because of that, I think they're going to make her win to reinforce her dominance as the top female star in WWE. She might even have a babyface turn after this. Who knows if Judgment Day breaks up or if she ends up leaving Dom. They're kind of hinting at that. But I think that's going to work even better if she's still the champion, if she's still a dominant champion. Becky, your time is later. This year, I think Rhea is retaining. And that concludes the first part of my WrestleMania 40 predictions. So do you agree with my predictions? Do you have your own? Do you agree with some, not others? That's most likely the case. Let me know in the comments. Of course, please only comment on the predictions that I mentioned in this video. There's 2 other videos yet to come. Follow at Silo Wrestling on X, at SVS Reviews on Instagram and Facebook, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And I'll catch you in part 2 of my WrestleMania 40 predictions. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.